Good day once again, people. All right, we're back in Dano Sound Lab. I don't think I've left for about 4 days, but this is what we do. It's awesome to have this all set up at home and be able to get my mix files ready for touring and yeah, and just slowly building things up in here. And I think I'm gonna start doing some recording projects in the future. You know, maybe after the summer, after done touring in the fall, over the winter, thinking of doing a few things with some friends and expanding out some clients. So we'll see how it all goes. We're just putting it all together here. So yeah, today I'm going to dive into guitars and vocals for April 1. And I'll show you what's going on there. So we'll get right into that in a sec. You'll see that I got Smart all hooked up here. Just put that together yesterday. So I got a simple little Smart rig to bring it out on the road. I've always had an RTA type thing, like a small one-channel interface, and using the Smart tools on my iPad for little, just a quick little reference, but kind of hopping up here into the real deal Smart stuff. It's just Smart LE, it's just the basic tools. And I got my Scarlett 4i4 interface, so I can do my RTA mic into channel 1. Channel 2 is just a feed from the console, so I can reference those two layered on top of one another. And then I have it going out and back into the console for the signal generator. And I'll blast the room, see where we're sitting in any environment right out of the gate. So yeah, happy to have that, tweaked out now. Should have had it a long time ago, to be honest. But here we are. Okay, let's dive into what's happening on the guitars here. So on both Mark and Brian, I have 2 channels and basically just stereo feed from them. That wasn't always the case. Just recently, from their fractals, just taking a left-right feed. We were doing a left-right sum channel, so basically mono coming to me, and then I was using microphone. And then, depending on what cabinet they were using, if you're using a backline cabinet or theirs, I'd have to do, some phase correction or time alignment there. That was easy enough to do, and I was getting a decent little blend. But we tried just going into out of the fractals left, right, and I'm really liking what's going on there. Nice and isolated, nice levels overall, the same tonality coming at me. And then if I want to change something up, I can do it here. So it's just a little bit more control. And the tones that are coming to me are a little more simplified. The extra bonus to that too is that the guys are starting to experiment with their effects and getting some stereo delays and modulation. Getting a stereo image on that. Plus, with their amp blends, they can tailor them in left or right too, so we can have bit of a different amp blend, and then when that spread, the slight stereo spread that I have going on for them, you're getting that little bit of separation between the amps, and getting some neat effect going on, and making the guitar sound big and wide. All right, so I'm just going to get this playing here, and it's going to be everything at first, I believe. Using Enough's Enough by April Wine today. Just going to mute the vocals out for now. We'll get to those shortly. All right. Let's get rid of some other elements now. Bass. There we go. Okay. So I'm just muting out Brian's for the moment. So for Mark's, he's got more of a saturated mid guitar tone. Well, on this recording, we've changed it up since. So, he's using, I think, the Friedman amps, and we're getting a nice, good, solid crang out of them, and just it's a better toner overall. Just took a little bit of time over the weekend and got that all rocking. Utilizing the emo plugins, low latency, and just need simple tools here, because a lot of the tonality is it's all fractal, EQ, all that stuff, and it's coming at me direct, so I don't have to do too much. On this one I was boosting a little bit of the high mid and cutting out a little bit of the mud on that. It's that was the old microphone, so I was just getting a little bit of extra presence out of it. So from there we'll mute that out, and we'll go with Brian's. Brian uses less gain, and so he's got more of a stringy, cleaner tone, where I find that Brian's is more like like old Fender combo amp sound, where Mark's is more like the old Marshall sound, and they're combining really good. So on Brian's, once again, just on the channel itself, utilizing filter, take out the rumble and a little bit of EQ, getting rid of a little bit of mud that was coming at me, and left right. As you'll see, I'm not going fully left right on each guy, because in a live environment we got to keep that that center integrity, even though it's the same sound basically on both channels. If they're doing stereo effects, right, I don't want, say, a ping pong delay to not be heard in the other side of the PA. So enough of a spread just to get that stereo image, but just keeping it kind of tight to the middle too, so the people on the other side of the arena are not missing information coming from the guitar. We don't want that happening. So those are the channels. From there, we are sending to individual buses. Each guy's got a stereo bus, and on the back end of that, I got a LA3A going on. I'm finding that's really helping just to take a little bit of edge off if they're hitting the guitars hard. Also, when they're going from patch to patch, sometimes, like, if you're playing rhythm still, and it's just that split second before they go into their lead, and they're still playing rhythm, and so it's that big chord on their lead channel, and so the volume pops out, and this is helping me catch those edges and smoothing out the transitions between them, switching between channels there. So helpful, and also cool tonality, and helping push the guitar kind of out front. So using that on both Brian and Mark's buses. And as you might be able to see here with my panning, I'm keeping the middle pan knob straight at the middle, but taking that full image, so it's full width, but just tilting the width just to the left and right respectively, just to create a tad bit, like, it's like one notch, just pushing each guy out to each side a little bit. The reason I'm doing that, like, you can barely hear it on its own, but then from there, when it's hitting that master bus, it's going to hit the band bus, which is fully stereo. But we're going to the TG mastering chain, like I was showing the other day on my drum video, and hitting the spreader here. So with that, it's basically just serving up the guitars to hit this and get that push out too. So instead of going hard left and right, or just kind of letting this do its thing, and I find by that process that I just explained, we're keeping the middle integrity of the guitars intact, but getting that stereo image. So it's like the best of both worlds here. So that's working really well. All right. Let's, yeah, we're going to go back to the groups here and mute out guitars. We're going to get to vocals in a second here. Let's go back to the top here. Yeah, so I'll just explain a little bit about the vocal chain, which is dead simple. Seeing a lot of people, piling in a bunch of plugins, and that's fine and dandy. These systems can handle it, and it's all how you deal with latency on the back end, which is great in this console because, maybe I'll explain that for a second here. Yeah, my setup, UI settings. So, yeah, where is that again? To show. Yeah, mixer settings, sorry. So, what's a cool thing about this console is that your output latency alignment, you have a couple of different options here. And I have it set to have the entire mixer aligned. So it basically takes my longest chain of latency and just matches everything to that. Because I'm not doing anything super crazy, I'm finding that's working. If we had something with 8 plugins and they're all big heavy latency plugins, I feel like that would be an issue. But I've had this out live about 4 or 5 times now, and I'm finding that it's working really well and keeping everything aligned. So yeah, we're all good there. So getting back to that vocal, I have, just going to use Mark's vocal because everybody else is pretty much affected the same. I have a PSE in line first, of course. Anybody that is out there doing this stuff knows exactly what that is because it's a very popular plugin. It's one of the greatest tools for vocal I've ever came across, for sure. To alleviate all that background noise is key, right? So I'm gonna bring in some vocal in a second here. And you'll see what that's doing right there. Hitting that threshold and backing off. I'm using the medium release just because I find the fast one, it was cutting off too fast. So that's working well. And from there, we are using the CLA Mix Hub. I'm really digging this, primarily because I love plugins that do multiple things and it's all in one place. I had a big vocal chain going, but I tried this out and I'm like, I'm getting great results. So I'm just rolling with that. I think the big plus to this thing is being able to switch from the SSL onboard comp, which is a decent comp for sure, to the CLA 76 blue face, blue stripe. That's my go-to, as well as a lot of other people for vocal because of its fast attack and its tonality. So that's great. So getting my mic pre, gain, EQ, onboard compression with the Bluey, and the cool little thing is it's got this extra little slot here. Just inserting sibilance controller, and you'll see that it's doing its thing. Have that all set. Pretty dry. It's all dry. Right, so that's doing its thing. Love that this is all in one spot, and lowering latency, by a little bit. This was a little bit CPU heavy, especially with the other plugin involved in there, but it's still less than my prior vocal chain that I had going on. I don't have it even in line right now, but on my lead vocals, normally you use the X feedback, in smaller environments when PA is close, but just prepping for arena on this, and I haven't had to use any defeedbacking devices or plugins for years. So, why have it in line causing me more latency? Yeah. So we're going to leave that out. From there, we are hopping into monobus for each individual guy here. And I got on every single one of them, I got LA2A. Yeah. Hitting that pretty hard. This thing sounds great when you kind of dig into it. And you kind of, basically doing parallel compression in a way where I'm taking the tops off, with the fast attack of the 76. It's on the CLA mix hub. And kind of tightening up the back end with the CLA2A and getting a little tonality out of it.
And we really did cause a scene. He said, one chance to make it on the silver screen.
Yeah, it sounded good. Cool. So I think from here, we are going to get into some effects. Let's bring everything in for a second, see how the vocal's sitting. Cool. All right. I'll bring that down for a second and just run through what I'm doing for effects-wise on vocals. So backup vocal. Got a dedicated reverb. They're pretty similar to the lead vocal, but I just got a little bit bigger size overall. I just want the background vocals to have that like a bit of a different tone and just sound a little bit bigger and shimmier and, all that stuff, if that's even a word. Shimmier. Yeah, making shit up today. Cool. And then Mark's, size down to 0. A little more build up though. And just getting it's a tighter, closer reverb. I really don't like a lot of reverb on a lead vocal so much. Just enough just to kind of place it in like a little bit into an environment. But I want that vocal, to stay in your face, much like I treat my snare drum. Like it's just, short reverbs, watching the levels to make sure that it's going to stand out front in the mix. I don't want to push those elements far back into the mix, and that's what reverb does. So, from there, we have a almost an always-on slap delay just to create a sound. A couple of little fluttery, quick repeats, just like that sound. Been doing that since the dawn of time, and it just works. It helps support the vocal. It's almost like a doubling type of effect, but a little bit separated. And we also have a doubler on top of there, which I'll show you in a second too. So those combinations just makes it for a big vocal. That's all, and that's that one there. I'm sorry. That's the big one. Lots of feedback, and set to half note, where the other one was set to an eighth note. So the slap's nice and quick, and this is for the nice rolling long delays, which I'll show you in a second here. See if I can just bring that up. Go to my custom layer, and I'll just bring it in here. You can hear that right there, that it was a, big long tailing delay that I use, periodically throughout the show and on certain points. Okay, so bring that back a little bit. From there, the last but not least for effects on vocals, I am using the Abbey Road ADT as a doubler. I'm really liking this one, especially for like classic rock, because it's got that old school tapey, classic-y kind of sound, right? And it's working really good. Yeah, so I'll show you this here. I'm going to bring it up hot in the mix in a second so you can really hear what it's doing, and then bring it back into context.
Too much competition in a limousine. Everybody got to work. Everybody had to make a show. And now I couldn't believe that it's full as a
Due to long delay.
gotta fill me up until I had enough. Gotta fill me up. Come on, Halifax, get to see.
Halifax, one of my favorite Canadian cities. Yeah, that was from the BTO tour, our last show of the tour. Yeah, so that's basically it. From there, all the vocals are going to a vocal group where I have the SSL comp just to control things, shape the overall vocal. Small little tiny bit of gain reduction. Let's see if I can get it going here for a second again. Yeah, small amount. Yeah. It's more comes in when everybody else comes in as well. It's barely doing anything while Mark's just doing his thing. And then on the back end to that, I got a couple of little cuts with the F6 that I was finding, especially when backup vocals were kicking in. I was getting like a sibilancy stuff, 4K that the de-essers weren't catching, on the vocal overall. And then in this range down here, which is 650, just getting a little bit of a honky sound. So, that EQ kicks in when it needs to. So, it's, great to utilize the C6 because I'm just kind of when the main vocal's going, and that's not interfering, it's not doing anything. But when there's a build-up of backup vocals, that's kicking into gear and alleviating those problem areas. Yeah, and then from there, all we're doing, like I showed the other day, just hitting the master bus with the TG mastering chain, with that spreader, that's helping push those guitars out to the side and everything, all the drum elements a little bit, but keeping that middle integrity. What a great plug-in. I can't say enough good things about this thing. And then just, L4 at the end of the chain there, getting small amount of attenuation when they really start going. It's more just about bringing that overall level, and there's the upwards compression. I'm utilizing it mostly for that and bringing up the more quieter, more delicate things that are down in the mix a little bit, just kind of supporting those and bringing them up. So that's that. So there it is. I think this is the last video for a little while. As far as at home, maybe start doing some stuff from the road. I'm going out with Finger 11 for a couple of weeks, filling in half of their tour with Filter. And that's going to be fun. And then home to prep all this stuff and the rest of the April wine gear and hitting the road with Triumph on their 50th anniversary Rock and Roll Reloaded tour, which is going to be awesome. We're really looking forward to that.